Thank you. Your Excellency, Ambassador Tesfaye Ilma, the State Minister for Political and Economic Diplomacy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Excellency Antonio Pedro, Acting Executive Secretary of UNECA, Your Excellency Ambassador Hope Tumukunde Gasatura, Ambassador of the Republic of Rwanda, and permanent representative to the African Union Commission of the Republic of Rwanda for that matter as well. Your Excellencies, ambassadors, all protocol observed, good morning. On behalf of the Commission of the African Union, I have a pleasure to be here with you on this occasion, which marks the groundbreaking of the Africa Horn project. I bring you the greetings of His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, President of the Commission, and my colleague commissioners, especially the Commissioner Minata of HHS, who would be glad to see this historical moment around the theme and topic of culture and heritage in line with the mandate, but also one of the theme of the years we had to celebrate a couple of years back for the African Union. The African Union Commission has been participating in the advisory board of the project since its inception in 2007. And I take this opportunity to thank the board of this project and the project team for the work that they have been doing, which has brought us to this point, and also they will continue to do going forward during the implementation phases of the project. This event is considered critical to contribute to such an important initiative aimed to modernize and rejuvenate a landmark of Pan-Africanism and a symbol of continental renaissance. The Africa Horn was conceived to accompany the continent, unity growing, while it was still struggling for freedom and independence from colonialism. In this building, what looked like a dream of a few leaders became reality in February 1963, overcoming the resistance of anachronistic nations trying to keep privileges and unjust policies in place. In the Africa Horn, since then, and for more than 40 years, all African leaders and independence protagonists gave speeches, discussed, and deliberated on the future of the continent, built relations, and showed the world the pride of the continent. As we mark this critical milestone, therefore, it's paramount to remind ourselves of the importance of the OAU then, the AU now, which, as I said, found its birthplace here. When it was conceived, less than half of the African continent was free. Most of the African people were under colonial oppression. Education was far from being disseminated. Human rights were basically unknown. As the emperor said at the Africa Horn inauguration in 1961, there was no place to gather and discuss the future of the continent. The design and conception of this building was innovative. Its technology was a state-of-the-art. Its vision was looking further and further. Allow me to also mention some of the initiatives that the African Union is undertaking in furtherance of the vision instituted in 1963 related to the promotion of arts, culture, and heritage, the spirit of Pan-Africanism, and African Renaissance. The African Union policy organs endorsed the Charter for African Cultural Renaissance in 2006, which is the main policy instrument in this sector. The Commission is now working closely with member states to ensure that this critical policy tool is implemented since it entered into force in October 2020. The Commission, in collaboration with the government of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, are in the process of establishing the Great Museum of Africa, a flagship project of the African Union Agenda 2063. The Great Museum of Africa will showcase, profile, protect, and promote the rich cultural heritage and history of the continent. Lessons learned from the renovation of the Africa Hall can be used to strengthen the concept of establishment of the Great Museum of Africa. The launch of the temporary site of this Great Museum for Africa is planned for December this year. High in the agenda of the Union is the issue of restitution of heritage resources. In that regard, the Commission has drafted a common African position on restitution of heritage resources in order to ensure speedy return of looted heritage from the continent, as well as assist member states in undertaking negotiations for the restitution of heritage resources. In collaboration with UNECA, the Commission organized a community leaders workshop aimed at popularizing the draft Common African Position on restitution of heritage resources, and also to discuss roles to be played by community leaders as custodians of our culture in the restitution process. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the initiative I have just outlined are part and parcel of the activity we are witnessing today, and they will go a long way in enhancing the role of arts, culture, and heritage in building the Africa we want. This building is the birthplace of African diplomacy, which emerged to be the sole way to ensure peaceful development. In these troubled days, where global powers are confronting themselves at war, where local conflicts are flourishing all over the world, where wound from pandemic has not been healed yet, revamping continental diplomacy through arts, culture, and heritage is essential. I call upon all of us to join and support this precious initiative of the UN, since it allows for preserving this marvelous symbol for our future generations, to remind them from where we come from, to show them the bravery and the wisdom of our fathers, and demonstrate the richness of our history and heritage. The African Union reiterates its support to the African Hall Project and is ready to play its role in the project, aimed to ensure actual engagement with its member states, looking at enriching the project with memories and evidence of such a glorious past, and also establishing linkages and synergies with our arts, culture, and heritage initiatives and programs. I thank you for your kind attention.